In more than one video, I've conflated the dragonstones with the Dragon Orbs, and they are not the same. Let's explore their evolution and connection for clarity. Welcome to another DragonLance Saga episode. My name is Adam, and today we're going to talk about the Orbs of Dragonkind. I would like to take a moment and thank my collaborator patrons, the heroes of the lands, and invite you to consider becoming a patron or member of this channel by visiting the links in the description below. You can even pick up DragonLance gaming materials using my affiliate link. I have referenced modules and source books from every edition for this information. For background on the creation of the Orbs of Dragonkind, we have to travel back into prehistory sometime in the Age of Dreams. The Gold Dragon Aurican was fascinated by the elves. When the elves chose to live in the forests that would come to be known as Silvanesti, they discovered it was already inhabited by the Dark Queen's chromatic dragons. They didn't take kindly to the elves' actions, and the first dragon war began in secret. Crematia, an ancient evil red dragon, formed an army from chromatic dragons and ogres. While the metallic dragons were mourning the loss of the Scion bard Pattersmith, Crematia had the ogres attack the elves in Silvanesti from the north. After days of bloodshed, the elves successfully beat the ogres into a brief retreat. Then the chromatic dragons came. Dragonfear paralyzed the elves, who were no match for the dragons they didn't even realize were back in the world. The female metallic dragons demanded that the males leave the grotto after the Scion's death, and Aurican decided to visit Silvanesti to check up on the progress of the burgeoning elven nation under the influence of Silvanesti, their leader. As soon as they saw the devastation laid to the elven nation, realizing that the chromatic dragons returned to Krynn, they traveled to the Calcist Mountains, the evil dragon's birthplace, and were ambushed and decimated by Crematia's dragon kin. Only Darlington, the silver dragon, and Aurican, the gold dragon, made it out alive. You see, the good dragons did not have spellcasting ability in these ancient times, a deficiency that led to their downfall. As Darlington returned to battle using guerrillic tactics to successfully strike blow after blow to Crematia's forces, Aurican left to the realm of the gods in search of magic. Elven history relates that Aurican took with him 3 elven sages, brothers Fadal Padron, Paris Deal, and Cain Wistnal. The 3 gods, Nuitary, Solinary, and Lunitary, perhaps with the approval of Paladine, forged powerful gems, the dragonstones, which Aurican brought back to Krynn. The dragonstones are large and bright, colored with one of the 5 chromatic dragon's colors. The purpose of the dragonstones was to trap the chromatic dragon's souls. They left the stones in the care of Silvanesti himself, and they turned the tide of the war. Aurican would take 1 stone at a time into a chromatic wing. Using Darlington as bait, they ambushed them with the dragonstone. They successfully used this tactic on 3 of the dragon wings, leaving the blue and red dragons remaining. After each dragonstone was used, an elf on Griffinback would deposit them into the fiery reaches of the Calcist Mountains. It was about this time that the blue dragonstone was stolen from the elves by the ogre lord Bark Darentail. It was quickly recovered by the Elder Wild of Kagonos. The blue dragons overwhelmed Darlington, killing him, and Silvanesti himself picked up the blue dragonstone and trapped the souls within. This ended the First Dragon War, with Crematia going into hiding, leaving the red dragonstone unused. Now, the dwarves' history claims that they discovered the stones when delving Thorin, and sought to take them to the Lords of Doom for destruction. But Crematia claims to have threatened to bring destruction onto the dwarves if she didn't receive the stones. After hundreds of years, she finally received them all, and took them to the Lords of Doom. It was here Takhisis destroyed the stones, releasing the dragon's spirits. It wouldn't be until the time of knights that the Orbs of Dragonkind were created. They're considered one of the triumphs of the Wizards of High Sorcery. During a Night of the Eye conclave in the Tower of Palanthas, The wizards reflected back on the power of the dragonstones. More than 1,000 wizards from all three orders used their arcane magic to not only capture, but to bind the raw essence of chromatic dragons within the crystal orbs. The orbs were created to protect the 5 towers of high sorcery and fight the Dark Queen's dragons throughout the Third Dragon War. They are popularly believed to destroy evil dragons, but they in fact are used to telepathically summon them. During the Lost Battles, when Istar was striking out against the Wizards of High Sorcery, the Dragon Orb within the Daltagoth Tower was believed to have been destroyed. When the Losarcum Tower was destroyed, it's believed its Dragon Orb fell with it as well. Those orbs were either blue or black. The orb in the Tower of Wayrith was removed by Fealthas on request of the Conclave for protection against the King Priest. Its mist was white. Palanthas' orb was moved to the High Clerist's Tower during its construction, and the Dwarven architects used it as key to the tower's defensive design, ostensibly creating a dragon death trap. Its mist was red. The orb of the Tower of High Sorcery in Istar was removed by Lorak Caledon. Lorak was drawn to the Dragon Orb during his test at the Tower of High Sorcery in Istar. Its mist was green. The Dragon Orbs contain the essence of good and evil bound together by neutrality. They're identical in appearance. The crystal orb is 10 inches in diameter, with arcane runes floating just below the surface of the orb. They contain a strange mist that is continuously swirling within, reflecting the color of the trapped dragon. In use, the orbs expand to 20 inches in diameter. Raistlin Magir is said to have had the orb shrink to the size of a marble for both subterfuge and ease of travel. Controlling the orbs is challenging for even the greatest of wizards, as you must gain dominance over the dragon's essence within by speaking the arcane words Argentum Commandaris inscribed on the orb's surface. We can see a failed attempt in Lorak, the Silvanesti Speaker of the Stars, and success with Lorlanthalasa Canon in the War of the Lance. When an individual summons a dragon with the orb, they can attempt to dominate the dragon. It also affects dragon-type creatures, causing confusion in a 1-mile radius. The Orbs of Dragonkind have other magical powers that are unlocked by powerful wizards or imbued by them. They can be used for scrying, even traveling the River of Time itself. Dragon Orbs have a powerful survival instinct, calling out to wizards for assistance when necessary, as it did to Lorak and Istar and Raistlin in the Blood Sea. If you thought using magic in Krynn was draining, it is nothing to the physical and emotional effects of using a Dragon Orb. With all their power, Dragon Orbs are still very fragile, as seen when Tassleoff Burfoot destroyed one by throwing it to the ground during the Whitestone Council in the War of the Lance. The orb in the High Clerist's Tower and the orb at the bottom of the Blood Sea are still believed to exist, though their whereabouts are unknown. There was a 6th Dragon Orb created centuries after the Third Dragon War by Blackrobe mages from the Gold Dragon Asamiel, which was stored in Bastion. A Knight of the Thorn, named Theo Draud, recovered it, but both ended up being thrown in the grey. And that is all I have to say about the Orbs of Dragonkind. Do you think the orbs are too powerful? Would Raistlin have been able to defeat Fistendantilus without his orb? And finally, have you ever had a player try to use one and fail? Leave a comment below. I'd like to once again invite you to consider becoming a patron or member of this channel, and you can pick up Dragonlance gaming materials using my affiliate link, all of which are in the description below. This channel is all about celebrating the wonderful world of the Dragonlance Saga, and I hope you'll join me in the celebration. Thank you for watching. This has been Adam with Dragonlance Saga, and until next time, remember, I will do this. Nothing in my life matters except this. No moment in my life exists except this moment. I am born in this moment, and if I fail, I will die in this moment.